Hi, a warm welcome once again to the topic of ego. Ego is one of the prime forces which is controlling the mind of human beings. Have you ever tried to understand ego? How can we know about ego? Confusing definitions are available if we look for its definitions. But unfortunately, definitions are only theories, not of much use for common man. But if you think, for a common man, ego stands for his I factor. This I factor is so intricate and complicated that we give it space at various places as per our wish, we think, but without even our knowledge. It takes over our entire actions and feelings. Most of our behavior and actions are being controlled by this. We complicate life with the influence of this I factor. Your behavior, thoughts, actions are revolving around its gravitational force. It is an imaginary feeling of ourselves. The sad part is nobody understands how ego influences one in his life. Ego is so powerful that we completely doomed into that. Ego blinds one. It changes one's vision and restricts our mental growth even. Ego restricts our life, but nobody realizes it. It can be a projection of our self-image. We often create images for us. This image is naturally okay to distinguish one person from others for his personal needs, to find his individuality in a group, etc. But in reality, one goes normally beyond that and carry a full set of bigger images about him or her on their head. Over the period of our growing up, one accumulates so many images about him, just like I am this, I am that. When the situations stand against this thought, you feel hurt. If somebody stands against this concept of you that you have made over a period of time, from your childhood onwards, even without your knowledge, you feel bad and lost. When your ego gets hurt, you feel frustration, sadness, worthlessness. When somebody is against you, there also your ego gets hurt because you made an image of individuality for you. It is rather psychological image than a physical entity. The sad part is nobody knows this is one of the biggest forces which controls you. It takes away the freedom of mind. The ego which circles around you is simply an imaginary characteristic. It simply is a creation of our mind. This restricts us from being mentally free and self-knowledgeable. And if you look into you, you can see this attribute which is very stronger in force, which is just revolving around you. When you turn your eyes towards it, you can find it. When you watch it closely, you can see it. At many occasions and at many places, your ego pops up, which is so binding inwardly. Ego acts in many ways. When you watch one by one in yourself, you can see it's a bundle of egos that one is carrying. This ego keeps your head and shoulders very heavy. For example, I am beautiful, I am wealthy, I am knowledgeable, I am from an elite family, I am very wise, I am smart, I am superior, I am powerful, or I am in power, I am a good person, the feeling of. All this can be of opposite nature also. I am poor, I am ugly, I am bad, I am ignorant, and so many of these feelings you can find in yourself. So, whatever our mind can consume, we give it a self centeredness with ego or I factor. It seems without this I factor, our life seems miserable. We are lost. We feel everything is connected with I. But when you closely watch it on a continuous basis, you can realize that this ego complexes, superior or inferior, is restricting you from seeing the realities of life. These ego complexes are not allowing you to experience your life as you are. You are always carried away by the imaginations or images that you made. Imaginations may not be the true you. These imaginations force you to be in darkness. The brightness of truth will remove the falsification of this imagination. Images are made by the mind. It is absolutely not real. But when you see the reality about the ego, you can find that you created it over the period of time. Your growth as a person allowed it to grow in you. Certainly, like other habits, family, friends, and society taught you to create these images in you. These images are controlling forces in you. If you look at it, you can see how it works. Ego hurts. Ego makes you ashamed. Ego makes you angry. Ego tires you. Ego depresses you. Ego wants you to copy it. Ego even lets you down. You can watch it. You can see it by careful and close watching of yourself. Close watching of self allow you see this ego factor unfold in front of you, which is restricting your mind from seeing things as it is, which is completely confusing and killing the simplicity of this life, which is completely keeps you away from the truth of life. Physical entity of a person is different from his mentally possessed ego. Physical entity of a person is natural, but mentally created ego is distressing. One has to watch it in you. Yourself is filled with ego. It is a fact. Never try to remove it, but understand it as a part of you. Be with your created ego, but understand it. Why you created it? What significance is there or it gives? What difficulty it gives you? Just be the silent onlooker. Slowly your understanding about you and your ego will improve. You will be more capable of handling the egos in you when you know about it. Rather than acting in its capture, you start understand what it is. You can see the trait get lesser in force. Your head gets less heavy. your shoulders with lesser weight. Because ego beyond a limit is destructive than constructive. We feel it is constructive with our mind, which is expecting miracles. We often, we often do. We often expect miracles to happen in our life. But the real you is facing destruction from the created ego. Whatever you are is whatever you are physically. You need not have to carry it on your mind or head. When you have a free mind, you can see many things beyond your created egos. One can see the originality of self. One can see the realities around you. You can see the actions and actings of other people around you. You can find the real you. Because you are you, not an imagination. You can enjoy the real moments. You can be creative. The mind which is out of ego could be fearless. It is out of all images, created images, I mean. Other than the real self, every image restricts you seeing the beauty of this life, which is not complicated. It is simple to be simple, but nobody knows. So, thank you. Thank you for watching.